attempts on a Tuesday night in Philadelphia, second of a three-game series. Marlins and Phillies, the National League champs, got to size Sandy last night, and it's a big night here. It is Dollar Dog Night, so people are inhaling these things before the game, during the game. We might even lose Nelly for the middle innings. We'll see how it all goes, but everybody is dressed to the nines here at Citizens Bank Park. We're in little old ties, all good for us. Inside the broadcast booth, Paul Severino and Jeff Nelson. You think you can hold off till the end of the game?
No, because they look very good, and plus they have a hat. I'm going to sport a hat maybe later just to enhance the Dollar Dog Night. And you mentioned being a little warmer. It's a little balmy, or maybe bomy from last night.
Oh, that's a good one. Go. With the 6 RBIs. You know who else was hot dogging it? The entire Phillies offense last night. They really got to Sandy Alcantara after the first 2 innings were perfect. They went nuts.
They did. The 2 through 5 hitters, Turner, Schwarber, Castellanos, Bohm, 11 for 17, 10 RBIs, 11 runs scored. You don't want to see this again, and plus, you are not used to Sandy giving up 9 runs yesterday against the Phillies either.
No, you are not. They only had one game like that with at least 15 runs and at least 15 hits, 20 hits, I should say, last year. So they are clicking, and now it's up to Jesus Luzardo to try to slow them down, and he's been very good. He's pitched the Marlins to victory in both of his starts.
Right, and his last outing was outstanding against the Twins. 7 innings. He walked 1 after walking 4 his opening start. Struck out 10 Twins. He was outstanding. He's got an electric arm. I think he may have a chance to be one of the top lefties in the game. You know, I just love his confidence. His mound presence has just improved greatly from when he first came over as an Oakland A to the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, you take a look at his last 6 starts, and this is, of course, going back last year. Look at that ERA at 1.45. So when Sandy's right, and of course he's right more times than he's not, piggyback with Jesus Luzardo, and this is a recipe for the Marlins to win a bunch of series over the course of the year. All right, flip side of this one is Aaron Nola. Much like Sandy last night, the ace of the Marlins staff, Nola still, after all these years, free agent to be, is the ace of the Phillies staff.
He is, and he's a Marlin killer. He's thrown 3 starts last year. He's got a 1.23 ERA in those 3 starts. He's been outstanding. He averages a tiny bit over 1 walk per 9, and that was in 2022. So a lot of contact. He can strike you out. He's got a great mix of assortment of pitches. Doesn't throw real hard, 92, 93, but he mixes it up in the zone. Very tough on the Marlin hitters over the years.
Yeah, he hates walks the way Nelly hates sauerkraut on his hot dogs, I'm assuming.
Or ketchup, too. Just straight mustard. Hot dogs with mustard, that's it.
What kind of a nut are you? Anyway, we'll hash that out as we get going here. It's a social Tuesday, and the hashtag is WBC 2023. A lot of stars from that tournament are in attendance. We'll check in with Kelly Sacco on the other side of the break.
Against the Phillies on a social Tuesday. Tonight's topic, we're chatting World Baseball Classic. That's because Jesus Luzardo had the honor to represent his country back in March at Lone Depot Park. It was what a fantastic World Baseball Classic it is. We know a lot of you guys were there, so we want to hear from you. Here's how you can reach us. If you're on Twitter, tweet us at Valley Marlins. If you're on Instagram, send us a DM at Valley Sports Marlins, or shoot us an email to valleysportsmarlins@gmail.com. Don't forget to use the hashtag WBC 2023. Now, the reason why we are using this topic today is because 13 players between the Marlins and the Phillies represented their country. You see a couple players in the Dominican Republic on the Marlins, of course, Venezuela. And over on the Phillies side, they have 3 players with Team USA, Israel, Mexico, Venezuela, all represented. We've already received so many good tweets from you guys. This one came from Ryan, and he was saying that his favorite moment came at the very end of the series. It was between Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, 2 of the best to ever do it. It came down to the final out. If you missed it, here's a little reminder of how that went.
A matchup we've all been wanting to see. Three and 2 from Ohtani. He throws. Trout strikes out swinging.
So many incredible moments from the WBC that just occurred just a few months ago at Lone Depot Park. We'll be covering all of your favorite moments throughout the course of the show. Jesus Luzardo, unfortunately, was not playing in that game. Team Venezuela was defeated by USA, but he said he had the time of his life.
That experience was crazy. Just for me, it was so much fun. It was unbelievable. It was a dream that I had since I was young, and definitely for my family as well, that they were all super excited to be out there. And to be able to have them in the stands and a lot of friends that I grew up with as well out in the stands and being able to support me with Venezuela across my chest. Family back in Venezuela watching the game. So it was kind of like a surreal moment for me. It was almost like it was fun for me. It wasn't even like I was out there doing my job. It was more of a good time and kind of hanging out with some friends. But at the same time, the competition and the level was just incredible. I stay tuned. I watched every game. I'm a baseball fan. Obviously I play baseball. Baseball is my life, but I am a baseball fan. I enjoy watching a lot of the guys on that side compete against some of the best in the world, and it was fun to watch. I mean, even when you're not a part of it anymore, just being able to watch the game of baseball grow and watch how guys excel in pressure situations. It's a lot of fun.
And Jesus was fantastic. Pitched 4 shutout innings, striking out 5, and he's had a fantastic start to the season. He'll be making his 3rd start for the Marlins here today. Jesus Luzardo, Aaron Nola. They're going head-to-head when we come back.
By DirecTV. Get your TV together with DirecTV. And by Baptist Health. Live healthy. Beautiful night in Philadelphia. Middle game of this 3-game series between the Marlins and the Phillies. As Aaron Nola makes his home debut here in 2023. This is the lineup that he will face. Jazz Chisholm Jr. leading things off once again in center field with Garrett Cooper, the DH, and Luis Arraez batting 3rd, playing 2nd. Jorge Soler's in right, Brian De La Cruz in left, Yuli Gurriel another start at first base, Segura's at 3rd, Fortes behind the plate, and John Birdie is the shortstop. For Nola, 3rd start of the year, got knocked around against the Rangers on opening day, 5 earned in 3 2/3, but he was better in his last start against the Yankees, 6 innings and 3 earned runs. Take a closer look at his pitch arsenal. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud.
Yeah, good mix. Like we said in the open, really doesn't have an overpowering fastball. 91, 92. Throws a little cutter about 6% of the time. Curveball and a change. He's pretty nasty. He's around the strike zone a lot. So the Marlin hitters are going to get something to hit. It's just the idea, can they hit it and not miss it? And here's your scouting report on Aaron Nola. He's got a good mix, like I mentioned. He's got the fastball, cutter, curveball, and a change. He hates the walks. How about last year? 1.3 walks per 9 innings. So you're going to have a lot of contact and a lot of strikeouts. He's a Marlin killer. In his career versus the Marlins, he's got a 3.18 in 20 starts. That's his best ERA out of any team with 20+ starts. Last year, 3 starts with that 1.23 ERA, and he keeps the ball in the ballpark. 19 home runs in over 200 innings last year.
So that's the numbers against him, and that's his battery mate right there, JT Realmuto. Nelly, the rest of the Phillies defense.
Yeah, around left to right, Harrison, Pache, Castellanos in right, Sosa at 3rd, Turner at short, Stott at 2nd, Bohm over there at 1st, and Realmuto, JT, former Marlin, behind the plate. Night off last night, catching Aaron Nola.
Didn't seem to slow down the Phillies. 15 runs, 20 hits in a series opening victory as Jazz digs in against Nola. Looking for his first hit against the Phillies ace. And the first pitch of the night is grounded foul at the plate. It's 0-1. Jazz was 1 for 5 last night, so he's had hits in 5 in a row. On a social Tuesday, the Twitter and Instagram handles for Jazz. We'll see him for all the guys throughout the night. 0-1. A little outside.
Hey, you don't want that called, right?
No, we've been down that road before.
Yeah, a little outside.
That outside corner. A little tricky over the weekend in New York. Swings and misses at that famous knuckle curve of Nola, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it comes in around fastball height, and it just drops off the table. It's pretty nasty.
JT sets up low and away. Nola missed up a little bit, and Jazz fouls it back. Nola saw the Marlins last year, 3 starts, was 1-0 with a 1.23 ERA. Of course, as Nelly mentioned, doesn't really like to walk guys at all. Only walked 3 and struck out 26. Well, at least in terms of the strike zone we see on the screen, it looked like a strike, but no, says Nate Tomlinson, the home plate umpire.
Well, has to do with JT sitting up on the outside part of the plate and having to reach back.
And then goes to that curveball for the strikeout.
Well, that's what makes him so nasty. He throws the one for the strike, and then you see the one down out of the zone. Starts around the knees and then just drops basically out of sight, and it's that good. And when you have someone like Nola throwing his knuckle curve for strikes, and then he can expand the zone and also throw that for a ball.
Yeah, it can be trouble. He starts Garrett Cooper out with a fastball strike. Cooper a good night last night, 3 for 4. Off to a really good start this year. It's inside to even up the count. Now listen, there of course is so much baseball to be played, nearly a full season, but the 3 home runs and the 1099 OPS, pretty good pace early for Cooper to set new career highs in those categories as he takes a pitch outside 2-1.
Yeah, he's getting off to a really good start, and you want to have him stay healthy. And Gurriel's in there at first, and he's been DHing the last few days because Gurriel, you want his bat in this lineup. You need to score some runs, and both of these guys in that lineup makes a
little deeper, right? And
a little deeper, yes.
And also with just the personnel that the Marlins have, Avi Garcia left a game in New York over the weekend with a tight hamstring, feeling better, available tonight according to manager Skip Schumacher. But that .368 average to start, top 5 in the National League a couple of weeks into the season.
No, Cooper's tough to pitch to on occasion. When he's going this well, he covers the plate very well. He'll go the other way. He's not afraid to shoot the ball to right field. If you hang something, he'll take you out of the park. He's shown some power early, which I've liked. 3 homers. He only had, what, 9 last year, 8 last year?
Yeah.
Had a down second half, really good first half. He was an all-star.
And talked about being a little bit more aggressive coming into 2023, and the early returns have been good. 3-2 pitch is a called strike 3. He flipped the bat, thought it was ball 4.
Tough pitch on the outside part of the plate. Nola has that ball that starts on the outside and then comes back on that corner. It's a 2-seamer, and it's really tough. He'll also throw that to lefties. He'll get them to jump out of the way. Next thing you know, he's hitting that inside part of the plate to a lefty. So Arise is going to have to be aware of that as well.
That one misses low. So a couple of strikeouts already for Nola, who in the 3 starts last year had 2 double-digit strikeout games. Saw a rise on that batting average leaderboard because he's been putting the ball in play and getting himself some hits, as he does right here. A 1-hop off the wall in right center. That'll be a 2-out double for Arise.
He's just been amazing at the beginning of the year to watch this guy hit. I mean, he was in Minnesota all last year. You look at it, the fastball upstairs. He tried to go away, and that might have had a chance. I think Nola was saying, probably hoping that this wasn't going to go out. It bounces off that wall. 1 hops the wall. I mean, he's just been a hitting machine here in Miami. Now you can see why he won the batting title in the American League.
He takes the lead sole possession of the most hits in the National League, with that his 19th ahead of Freddie Freeman. At second with 2 outs for Jorge Soler, who goes after the first one, and a fly ball out to left field. Trey Turner going back, calling off the left fielder Josh Harrison, and makes the play. Marlins lead 1. Luzardo goes to work next. Bank Park here in Philadelphia. Take a look at the Phillies lineup. A little bit of a different look. They were facing the righty Alcantara yesterday, the lefty Luzardo tonight, but it's Turner, Schwarber, and Real Muto going 1, 2, 3. Castellanos, Bohm, and Josh Harrison in the middle. Edmundo Sosa over at third with Stott at second, and Pache out in center field. For the Marlins, making his third start this season, entering with an 0.71 ERA is Jesus Luzardo. Matched up against Pablo Lopez last Wednesday, was good, 1 earned in 7 innings.
And he also struck out 10, only walked 1, improved from that first start where he went 5 2/3. He walked 4. Now he was able to pitch around those 4 walks, so he has that kind of stuff to be able to do that. He's electric from the left side.
I think the ball got on the field in center, so after the short delay, ready to go, and the first pitch to Turner is in the air to right. And that's Soler.
Well, pretty much the same defense as yesterday. We'll go around the defense for you. De La Cruz out in left, Jazz in center, Soler there in right. Around the infield, Segura, Birdie at short, Arise at first, Gurriel back at first. Arise at second. The only difference, Nick Fortes is behind the plate. He had Stallings last night catching Sandy, and Nick catching Jesus Luzardo.
It was Kyle Schwarber taking the first pitch strike. Schwarber, the DH for the Phillies tonight. Led the National League in home runs last year, also in strikeouts. At 98 from Luzardo. Little uptick in velocity earlier this year. He's been coming out of the gate hot. It's been great to see.
Well, I like how he's been establishing his fastball. He's got a really good slider, slurve, sweeper, whatever you guys are calling it now. You know, so let me know, and I'll use that. And also a really good changeup.
The strikeout there of Schwarber at 98 miles an hour. So that's his 5th strikeout at 98 plus, which is tied for 4th in baseball.
Well, when he gets ahead of you, he can throw that slider, but no need, because Schwarber just kept taking fastballs, and he'll climb the ladder with that 4-seamer upstairs. He's very deceptive from the left side. He just has such great confidence and great mound presence that nothing seems to bother him. He doesn't get rattled anymore, and it's like, here it is. And I like how he's pitching in and out. Something that Sandy didn't do yesterday is establish the inside part of the plate, and then you can expand away. Jesus immediately now is going inside with that fastball.
Tries it again, a little too far into JT Realmuto, who had the night off last night. Five hits over the last couple of games that he's played, as he takes that changeup in there for a strike.
And you could do so much when you start establishing the inside part of the plate. He throws hard from the left side. There's not too many lefties in the game that are getting upper 90s like Luzardo. Yeah, McClanahan with the Rays, I think probably from the left side might have the highest average fastball, about 99. He'll reach triple digits. Jesus about 97, 98. Is right up there with him.
Another one at 98 miles an hour. 2 strikeouts in the first inning. Sets the Phillies down 1-2-3. Looking sharp early on as we go to the second in Philadelphia. Here on a lovely night in Philadelphia. Beer Fest is back at Lone Depot Park on Saturday, April 15th. Sample domestic, international, and local craft brews at the ball game. Purchase today at marlins.com/beer. Saturday, the Arizona Diamondbacks will be in town. Marlins will have one more against the Phillies tomorrow afternoon. First pitch here at a little after 4 o'clock. Marlins head home. They get Thursday off. 3 with the Diamondbacks, 3 with the Giants on the homestand. Brian De La Cruz, a big cut, and fouls off that knuckle curve. 0-1.
Well, you could see Soler in that last inning. He was looking first pitch fastball and got a breaking ball up. It was probably a cutter, and he wound up popping up. And De La Cruz thinking first pitch fastball too.
On a hop to Turner. Shortstop makes the play to Alec Bohm over there at first base tonight, and there's one away.
And Nola's been around a while, and you know, you go through scouting reports and what the hitters are looking for, and when you have a team that you know is going to be aggressive early in the count, you wind up leading them off with some off speed, and then you go hard stuff late. You pitch them backwards in a sense because they're so aggressive early.
Gurriel takes a pitch outside. Again, a little extra playing time last few days for Gurriel. He cashed in on his first Marlins home run yesterday. Was 2 for 4 with that long ball. A strike top of the zone. Extension talks have been put on hold with Nola and the Phillies. He's in the final year of a 5-year $56.75 million contract. Be one of the interesting cases this offseason as Bohm is in foul territory off of first to make the catch, 2 away. But the Marlins have seen Nola a lot through the years, and this was the last time that the Marlins saw him last year. And listen, I mentioned in 3 starts that he had the 1.23 ERA, 10 Ks and 6 2/3, and 1 earned run.
Well, you can see how tough he is when he's spotting that fastball on both sides of the plate, especially to righties when he gets it to come back on that outside for a strike like he did against Cooper tonight. He's got that breaking ball and mix in that little cutter. He's really tough.
A strike to Gene Segura, who received his National League Championship ring yesterday, and through a couple of days has gotten a really good hand here in Philadelphia, part of this club for the previous 4 years.
Yeah, we got on the bus last night. So let me see it. And he brings it out, and it's like spinning around in a box. So I thought it was like a disco ball. That thing was so big. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, they did a
championship ring.
Did a great job with it. And they didn't lack in the presentation either. Yeah, the box was rotating,
and he was saying that some people think it's a lot better than the Astros World Championship ring.
There's a base hit for Segura. That'll quiet some of those cheers. He takes a aggressive turn, a little bobble in center field, and the throw is on time. Pache had bobbled it, but then the throw to second base. Segura trying to make something happen. He's thrown out. Inning is over. Hits in 6 of his last 7 games, but out by a little bit over there at second after the bobble.
Yeah, maybe just a little. You see the bobble by Pache, but not enough. And look at Trey Turner. Well, I think he had a couple of those dollar hot dogs waiting for Segura to get there to second base.
Well, that was the 3rd out. Now Nick Castellanos leads things off and takes ball 1. Castellanos, a 3-hit game yesterday before being ejected. Didn't love the strike zone in a late at bat yesterday. That was John Libka's strike zone last night. He's over at 3rd. DJ Rayburn, the second base umpire. James Hoy, the crew chief, is at 1st. And again, Nate Tomlinson on your screen behind home plate. Line drive, base hit for Castellanos. Went right back up the middle. Looked like one of those quick pitch slide steps from Luzardo. Castellanos was ready.
And the one thing that happens when he does quick pitch is there's going to be a report around, and I'm sure the Phillies had it. If he quick pitches, more times than not, it's a fastball. He doesn't throw very many off-speed pitches from that quick pitch. He thinks, okay, I'm going to try to rush you. And the hitters are gauging and saying, hey, I've got to speed up my bat. And that's what happened with Castellanos.
Now Alec Bohm going after the first one. Fouls it down the right field line. Bohm had a big day yesterday. 6 RBIs. Second 6 RBI game of his career. 3 for 5. Off to a really good start. And you notice he's over at first base. The Phillies have had a bunch of guys roll through there since the Hoskins injury. Hoskins got hurt in the spring. Then they went to Derek Hall. He got hurt. He's had surgery. Cody Clemens was there yesterday, and now Bohm today. And Bohm last night with a home run.
Well, a little hanging breaking ball from Smeltzer. It was a get me over, and he crushed it to left center field. Everybody knows that he can hit, and it was just a matter of where they were going to put him defensively, but last year had a real good year at third base.
Called strike 3. That one at 99. Inside part of the plate.
Yeah, it's a great pitch. You stayed away, climbed the ladder a little bit, and how about the location on this fastball? You weren't going to hit it anyway. Outstanding location for that strike 3.
And now Josh Harrison. He takes a strike.
What's really impressed me these first 3 games is his location. You know, he's been dialed in for these first 3 starts. Great fastball command.
So Josh Harrison, a guy who's been around the league. 315 in 57 games with 13 doubles and 15 RBIs against the Marlins. Ground ball, base hit on cue with a knock against Marlins pitching. So with 2 aboard and 1 out, we send it downstairs to Kelly Sacco.
Hey guys, tonight's Social Tuesday topic is the WBC. We got a great tweet from Jesus Luzardo's uncle. He said all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina to see my nephew pitch for Team Venezuela. Jesus had spoken about how it's not only a big moment for him, but it was a great moment for his family being able to represent his country. And guys, he did a fabulous job.
Absolutely did. It was a great atmosphere. Kelly, you and I had a chance to talk with JT Realmuto, reconnect with him before the game. Of course, the catcher for Team USA, and loved the atmosphere in the ballpark over the course of the tournament. That's a called strike as they check to see if Sosa went around. Didn't get that call right there. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I didn't go down, but I loved watching it on TV. I
Yeah.
couldn't get free tickets, so I'm not paying for a ticket.
Fair enough.
I mean, the last time I paid for a ticket, I think I was 10.
Yeah, no, you've reached that point where you really shouldn't have to pay for baseball
No.
tickets. I'm with you. Pitched that 1 game, 4 innings, 4 hits, didn't give up a run. Dialing up 98. Nelly, it's interesting. You know, we were talking about Luzardo, and we talked about Shane McClanahan, lefties that throw really hard. Trevor Rogers that throw in the mid to upper 90s. It's a lot of times it feels more like a right-handers type of thing. This one down in the corner will sneak foul.
It does, and I don't know the answer to that. It's about why lefties, you know, because majority of them, they're not throwing that hard. You know, they're throwing maybe low 90s. You look at Jamie Moyer, who played for the Phillies. I was a teammate with him in Seattle. He could barely break a plane of glass. It was basically slow, and slower. And you don't see very many hard throwing lefties. I mean, you look around. I guess it just goes with the same as, okay, you have these hard throwing lefties, but you don't find enough of them in rotations. If you find 2 like the Marlins have, Rogers and Luzardo, a lot of rotations will just have 1 lefty.
And right now the Marlins have 3 with Braxton Garrett.
Right.
Picking up the slack with Cueto. But that one again at 98 miles an hour. 4 strikeouts.
Hey guys, Luzardo's averaging a career high 97.3 miles per hour with his 4-seam fastball this year. That's a full mile per hour higher than last year. He told me he put an extra emphasis in strengthening his arm this season, focusing on his arm, his forearm. He says he's feeling the benefits, as you can already tell, coming out nice and smooth. He said he doesn't feel like he needs to overthrow at all. Nelly, that being said, have you seen a stronger Luzardo to start this season?
I've seen a lot stronger, and I've also I keep bringing back this confidence that he's had. You know, he's just carried it. He had it last year, and I know I was talking with Mel Stoudemire Jr. in spring training of 2022, and the one thing that they wanted to work on, it wasn't stuff. He's always had the stuff. It was between the ears, the confidence, the mound presence, the, hey, know that you can dominate the strike zone and dominate teams, and he did that last year. He had a little time on the IL, and then when he came back, he finished up strong. Those last 2 outings of the year against the Mets and the Braves. The Braves, he struck out 12, went 6th his last start of the year, and then he's just carried that over in the 23 season.
Ball and 2 strikes on Stott, misses upstairs.
And you don't see lefties. You know, it's so funny. You see the, Luzardo and Rogers, who have a great fastball, McClanahan, and then you throw Braxton Garrett, low 90s, high 80s. You don't see them piggyback each other either. You don't see two lefties in one. I mean, back-to-back starts.
How about that play? Might have taken a hit away up the middle from Stott. Leaves a couple with 2 more strikeouts. For the third. Stream Miami Marlins baseball live on the Valley Sports app, presented by T-Mobile. Paul Severino, Jeff Nelson, Kelly Sacco, the rest of our Valley Sports crew. It's the middle game of a 3-game series. First meeting of the year between the Marlins and the Phillies. Phillies took game 1, 15-3 last night. And even though the Phillies have won a bunch of games, they've won 13 of 18 recently against the Marlins. In that same span in this ballpark, the run differential prior to last night really wasn't that much. The Marlins were 3-6 with a -3 run differential in those games. So all tight games. Except last night, not so tight. Nick Fortes takes ball 1, evening the count. Fortes and then Birdie and the top of the order Jazz.
I think the Phillies are the only team in baseball that have won a game by more than 10 runs and lost a game by more than 10 runs.
Is that right? Line to third base and right at Sosa. Good contact for Fortes, just in the wrong spot.
When you see this is a BB, and Sosa in the right spot. The hot corner.
Here's John Birdie. Birdie 1 for 4 with a strikeout last night. Takes a pitch in the dirt. Fouls that one back. Yeah, good pass for Fortes, by the way, at 108.5 off the bat.
Wow. Some rough luck right there.
Yeah. But we say it a lot with this, with our access to the hard hit rates and all that kind of stuff. You hit the ball hard enough and good things will happen. I'm sure there are times that you'd like those 22-mile-an-hour dribblers to fall for hits, but you keep making 108 contact and you'll be all right.
Well, the Phillies last night had about 3 or 4 of those high choppers that wound up going for infield hits.
Birdie, fly ball, center field. Pache going back, way back, and Birdie way out to center field. Marlins take a 1-0 lead.
Well, the ball carries when it's cold. It carries when it's hot. A little bit warmer today. You got to get me over knuckle curve from Nola. I was about to say, hey, the third baseman Sosa is back. Maybe try to lay one down and then it's a double. But why lay one down when you can hit it to center field and hit it out?
Dead central on the home run.
And here it is, a little hanging knuckleball. Or knuckle curve. That was up in the trees.
Jazz fouls that one away, and another look at the home run.
You see him, he kept his hands back, and he was out in front just a little bit because he was fooled, and then it was a hanger. Ran out of room.
1-1 pitch to Jazz at the bottom of the zone for a strike. Saw Pache going back. I know he's kind of new to this ballpark. Shades of Aaron Rowan, remember back in the day? Ran face first into the wall. Ground ball left side. Turner on the backhand and had to throw over Sosa, and Jazz with the speed beats it out.
And Turner bobbled it just a little bit, and it gave Jazz able to beat that out. And it wasn't cleanly fielded. Couldn't get a grip on it, but Jazz runs really well. You watch him. He tried to get a grip on it, couldn't get a good grip on it. I don't think that would have made a difference. Jazz still would have beat that ball out for a base hit.
Jazz with hits in 6 in a row, leads away from first base. The run in on the birdie home run and 1 out. Now Cooper grounds that one outside of third foul.
Let's see if Jazz can get a good jump. Nola doesn't hold runners either. He has that big leg kick similar to what Sandy Alcantara does for the Marlins. Doesn't hold runners in real well. Jazz has good speed over there. They can get in scoring position for Cooper.
There goes Jazz. Throw from Real Muto is high, and Jazz is in under the tag. A stolen base.
Well, after a fastball to Cooper is a good pitch to run on. See, Jazz doesn't really get a great jump, but it was a breaking pitch. And JT has a good arm behind there. Nice stolen base. Makes up for that lack of jump with some speed.
Yeah, JT with the pop times and the arm strength, a really tough catcher to run on, but Jazz with that terrific speed gets into scoring position, and now hopefully Cooper can drive him in. 1 ball and 1 strike. And they talked about the fastest pop times in the Marlins Live pregame show today, and Real Muto at the top of that list. The guy he was traded for, former Marlin himself, Jorge Alfaro, is number 2.
JT's probably one of the best catchers in the game. I think he was fun to watch. Can hit, he can run. He's one of the fastest catchers in the game.
Well, he's got the skill sets and the back of the baseball card and the contract that would tell you that he's the best catcher in the game.
It's one of those spin moves that he really didn't want to go to second, but he probably had a bad grip on a pitch.
Cooper takes the strike.
A lot of times you'll make the spin move and say, oh, I got to get a different grip, or that wasn't the pitch that I wanted to throw.
And now with the disengagements, you got to be careful.
Right.
3-2 pitch. Cooper ground ball, bounces off of Sosa. He collects it, throws to first, and Cooper's going to beat that one out. Jazz had to stay put. Play was in front of him. See how they score that one as Sosa had to play that one off to the side. It'll actually go down as an E5.
Yeah, it was that knuckle curveball, and it just gets off the glove of Sosa. He tries to gather it and throw over. You're not going to get Cooper. That ball was up in the air too high. Nice job by Jazz of staying put. I'm really surprised that Sosa even threw it over to first.
Now the birdie home run has the Marlins on the board, and now with one of the hottest hitters in the National League at the plate, the Marlins would love to make something happen. 2 on for Luis Arraez. No thoughts of offering at that first one a strike.
You know, I like the lineup that the Marlins have been putting out the last few days. You know, you look at Cooper. Cooper's been a decent hitter. He's the guy. If I'm a pitcher, he's the one that I want to get out. You know, not that Arraez has great power. He doesn't. I mean, what do you have, like 4 home runs or whatever last year?
Yeah, not known for his power prowess.
But Cooper's the guy you want to get out, because then you have to face Arraez as a double machine and a base hit machine. He's the guy that's tough to get out.
With 2 outs, a message from Kia.
The all-powerful Kia SUVs assembled in Georgia.
Here is Soler, fly out to center field in the first inning. Or check that to shortstop. Deep shortstop.
Yeah, he was looking for a fastball to jump all over and maybe got a little too aggressive on that first pitch.
Tried to get him to fish for one there and missed low. Soler now 3 for 11 with a couple of walks and 3 strikeouts career against Nola. Jazz at second, Cooper at first. Birdie's home run as the Marlins up 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, the one thing Nola doesn't do, he doesn't give in. You really got to look, if you're Soler, you're looking away. Maybe that sinker or a little breaking ball. See JT sets up at the last minute. You know, a lot of times, you know, they don't give signs, but a lot of times those runners like Jazz at second base might give location, whether they lead off with one leg.
In the air, right field. That's Castellanos waiting for it to come down, makes the catch. Marlins leave a couple, but get one on the birdie, home run to center. 1-0. Solo home run for John Birdie to get the scoring started here tonight. Another instance where the Marlins rely on the home run ball to provide their offense. Start of the day, highest percentage of their runs coming via home run, 70% coming in. That fastball misses up to Christian Pache, leading things off in the 9 spot for the Phillies. Trey Turner and Kyle Schwarber due up next.
Well, it looked like Jesus before that first pitch having a little trouble with pitch comm. He stepped off, and you know, when he steps off, that clock just keeps going. It doesn't stop, and you see they're going to change it out. And I don't know if he's a guy that calls his own pitches or he waits for Fortes to give him a pitch.
Well, you're right. There is now that pitch comp system that the pitchers can use. Some will put it on their glove or on their arm or what have you. I do not believe any of the Marlins are actually using it. Pitchers, that is. That is a fair ball inside the line. Kicks off the wall, and Pache is going to end up at second base with a leadoff double.
Well, I got a change up after a first pitch fastball up. This is your 9-hole hitter, and he was out in front of it, but he hit it down the line. You see where Segura is playing. You know, I'm not going to second guess the pitch, but you know, after you're throwing 97, you do miss upstairs. You're giving a 9-hole hitter a changeup. That's the only thing I might question a little bit.
Trey Turner fouls that one away. Turner was 1 pitch, 1 out his first time up, 0 for 1. Was 3 for 4 yesterday, piggybacking on what was a really good World Baseball Classic. And as we have time tonight, with that being our hashtag, we'll look at some of his successes as he flies out to center. Jazz camping underneath it makes the catch. Pache with the bluff, and a good strong throw from Jazz will keep him right there. One more to go here in Philly. One more on the road trip. Hyundai presents the Marlins Live pregame show. Craig Minervini, Rod Allen will get you ready starting at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. First pitch a little after 4 o'clock. Zach Wheeler goes for the Phillies and Edward Cabrera for the Marlins. Kyle Schwarber takes up high.
Yeah, it's a changeup. It just Jesus let go just a little bit too early.
Big cut and a miss there. We just showed Edward Cabrera. You said last night Philadelphia a good walking city, and the hope is that Edward Cabrera does not take advantage of that tomorrow.
Exactly.
Hit the 13 walks in 2 starts.
He should take a cab or maybe a trolley.
Fouls that one back. He struck out Schwarber in the first inning. So far 4 Ks for Luzardo, all of which have come on that fastball.
This would be a great time to drop that slider down and away.
Tried the changeup and it was fouled outside first. Pache leading off of second, and there's that pitch you were asking for. One pitch late, but still a good result. He's gotten Schwarber twice, and he's been doing this. He's been striking the Phillies out tonight and his last outing last year against the Phillies.
Well, I mentioned the confidence, and then there's that breaking ball down and away that he just threw to Schwarber after a couple fastballs in. There's another breaking pitch. I talk about his confidence. What also impresses me is that when he gets in jams, nothing ever phases him. You don't see him panic. You don't see him get out of whack as far as mechanics. He's nice and calm. He takes that deep breath on the mound and goes, I'm gonna get you out. I don't care how many people are on base.
Well, his nickname is Lizard King, so he's cold-blooded, man.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's science, really, is what it is.
Lizard King. Well, I'm not going to say he looks like a lizard, but
no,
kind of does.
Luzardo.
Yeah, but he does. They call him Lizard?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's on his baseball reference page. It's got to be accurate.
You got to watch. You get some. You can't touch him. You might get salmonella.
Bouncer to second base. Arise gets rid of it quick and gets Real Muto. All right. More science class next.
Nicholas Bear, he said his favorite WBC moment came via Trey Turner.
Pinch runner and then Real Muto. So Vino Bracho against Trey Turner. 0-2. Turner to left field and deep. Peralta back. It is gone. USA. What a swing. What a moment for Turner. What a turn of events. The biggest moment.
And what a bittersweet moment that was. That won the game for Team USA. Of course, the Marlins had quite a few players on Team Venezuela. So incredible moment, incredible tournament for Turner. But definitely sad to see our Marlins go home early.
Yeah, he hit .391 with a 1483 OPS. 5 homers, 11 RBIs, 6 runs in 6 games. And the Phillies were thinking, hey, we just gave you 11 years and $300 million. Save some for us.
Well, he wasn't too happy about the 2 fastballs that he's missed from Luzardo. He was out there. I was watching him. He was talking to Stott, the second baseman for the Phillies. He said, I can't believe I missed that fastball that he gave me. And he wound up popping that out.
Of course, Turner back in the National League East this year. All that time with the Washington Nationals before going over to the Dodgers for a little bit. On a hop right at the second baseman. Stott and De La Cruz retired for the first out here in the 4th. Celebrate Italian heritage with the Miami Marlins on Friday, April 14th, when the Marlins take on the Diamondbacks. Ticket package includes an exclusive Italian heritage T-shirt. Purchased today at marlins.com/Italian. I'll be there.
Yes, you will. I will.
I'll be there
too. I don't have a vowel at the end of my name. I loved the WBC. Venezuela went over to Tampa and played a little golf outing, and Luis Sojo, who did TV for Team Venezuela, right before they played the United States. He actually thought they had a chance.
Sosa does not have a chance. That went into the netting over the Marlins dugout.
I was like, come on, Louis.
Louis was a hero. When was that? In 2000?
2000 against the Mets. Yes, a little base hit up the middle. I played with him in Seattle and also New York. He was a great infielder.
Gurriel skies another one. Foul territory. Sosa tries again, and that one stays in play. Makes the catch.
Nice job by Sosa. He goes all the way over to the dugout. You see, goes up against the fence and thinking that might go into the camera well, and it just comes right back. But nice job keeping his eye on the ball. Didn't lean over. Actually, the camera probably held him up a little bit. Real nice catch. Unfortunately.
I wonder if he kicked the cement there at the base of the fence. Kind of came up hobbling, but he looks all right now. 2-away for Gene Segura, who singled and was thrown out trying to get to second on a little bobble in center field by Pache. Segura tries to lay down the bunt. Ball and 1 strike for Segura, who's again 6 hits last 7 games. That's what the Marlins are hoping for out of him. Just start collecting some hits, thicken up the bottom part of their order a little bit.
Doesn't strike out a whole lot. Contact guy. You absolutely love that. That's exactly what the Marlins need. Put the ball in play. Anything can happen.
And a 200 hit season back in 2016 with the Diamondbacks. A 1-2 pitch coming. And he chases that one outside. A 1-2-3 inning for Aaron Nola. We'll head to the last of the 4th in Philly. South Florida Hyundai dealers. By Estrella Insurance. Why pay more for car insurance? Call today. And by FPL. Learn how FPL is investing in the future of Florida at FPL.com/value. One of the former Marlins colors hats there. See some of those flashback Friday teal in action on Friday when the Marlins get back against the Diamondbacks. But some unfinished business here in Philly tonight. Tomorrow afternoon as Nick Castellanos swings and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. Leading off the 4th. Alec Bohm and Josh Harrison to follow. A hit for Castellanos in the 2nd against Luzardo. One of the 2 hits that Jesus has surrendered. He has struck out 5 along the way. Lifted foul right side.
Well, now that you come inside with a fastball, you can do 1 or 2 things. You can go that change up down and away, or you could drop that breaking ball on that back leg and get a swing and miss possibly.
Well, we talked about that quick pitch, that slide step that he has. That time, and it was Castellanos who had the base hit back up the middle. That time, kind of that slower, more deliberate step back. So messing with the timing a little bit of Castellanos.
Right, and you can utilize the time clock as well. You know, let it tick all the way down to about 1 or 2 seconds before you lift that leg and go into your motion. But again, if he's going to use the quick pitch, he's got to use more than just a fastball. He's got to show the hitters that, hey, I can throw that breaking ball, that changeup off of that as well, because they're going to adjust. They're going to, the word is, okay, if he quick pitches, it's a fastball.
That one misses upstairs. First free pass issued by Luzardo. So the last 3 innings, the leadoff man has reached base. None of them have gotten to third, though. That's been the good thing. But this is still, again, a tough hitter in Bohm. And as we saw with the Phillies last night, they can really put it together. A different combination of guys, of course, with the righty in Sandy and the lefty in Luzardo tonight. But still, these Phillies bats came to life last night. 15 runs, 20 hits. That one fouled straight back. Time now for the Florida Lottery in-game jackpot. Talking a little lefties and righties here. So best averages since 2021 against southpaws. Trey Turner on that list and Alec Bohm at 331. But that could go down right here. 6-4-3 on the double play.
Oh, really nice changeup after missing with the breaking ball. He hasn't thrown that for a strike, so you might want to try to mix that in. And the fastball upstairs that he got a swing. Little 1-1 changeup. Little 6-4-3. Pitcher's best friend, double play.
Marlins haven't turned many of those this year. Just the 8th double play. They started the day tied for the 2nd fewest in baseball on the defensive side. Offensively, they've been hitting into a few too many, I'm sure, for Skip Schumacher's liking, but you certainly take the twin killing right there. Harrison a base hit. His first time, and this time pops it into foul territory. Gurriel is going to make the catch. He hung with that one. Was trying to get to a spot, may have overrun it. Able to reach back and haul it in. Whoa, little change of direction. Yuli puts it away. Yuli Gurriel either looking at an AB or that great defensive play that he just made in foul territory to end the bottom of the 4th. Nick Fortes to lead things off against Aaron Nola. Drops in that slow curveball for strike 1.
Well, they'd probably be all laughing if they saw that play. I mean, that was a great catch. I mean, there isn't a whole lot of wind. I don't think the ball got blown back into the playing field.
Well, I would have to imagine, I'm sure I could look it up, but have to imagine playing for the Astros for so long, hasn't played many games in this ballpark.
Or outside. He's been inside.
That's another one. But to kind of know the lay of the land in foul territory here. Foul tip off of Real Muto. Here it is again, a T-Mobile coverage cam.
Yeah, that's a great catch. You find yourself thinking, okay, I'm going all the way back to where the stands are, and well, he's the only one that was going to make that play, but really terrific catch.
So you probably played a bunch of games in the American League West in Oakland. You go to Oakland, you got 4.5 miles of foul territory.
And in Houston, you don't have a whole lot of foul territory over there.
Right. Home plate umpire Nate Tomlinson gave JT a little extra time behind home plate after that foul tip. 0-2 coming to Fortes.
I think that was a double whammy. A hit off of JT's left thigh and then went right into the home plate umpire, Nate Tomlinson.
Nola's 1-2. And again, he gets a strikeout, that time on the cutter. So that's back-to-back strikeouts going back to the 4th inning and 4 tonight. The lone run, the homer off the bat of John Birdie.
Well, that knuckle curveball just hung over the middle of the plate, and he crushed it up in the trees for his first homer of the year. This is where you just drop one down. Yeah, you hit a homer. Now I'm gonna bunt for a base hit and watch me steal second.
Yeah, and this is how the Marlins can kind of utilize that 9-1 spots, those 2 leadoff types. with Birdie and Jazz to follow him. Our Toyota trend, most consecutive games with a home run. Marlins have gone 7 in a row. And that a bouncer to second. Stop Chargers makes the play. And now word from the Florida Lottery.
Fantasy 5 isn't just a nocturnal game anymore. Now there's a midday draw.
Seize the midday with the new Fantasy 5 draw.
So nobody on and 2 out for Jazz. Fouls that one back. Jazz a strikeout in the first, a single and a stolen base in the third. Nola's 0-1 pitch. Taken down and in. That hit for Jazz off of Nola, his first hit in 9 at-bats against the Phillies ace. And a 1-1. He's fouled back again. So the 4 strikeouts for Nola, 1 on the knuckle curve, 1 on the fastball, and I've got 2 on the cutter. So he's mixing it around on that put-away pitch. Jazz will call time here. What do you think might Jazz be looking for here?
He's probably looking for something in after that cutter. That cutter wasn't in. He probably would have liked to have that pitch back. I think he goes away with some off speed, maybe a changeup.
Kind of like that. Froze Jazz. That low and away corner. 2 more strikeouts for Nola. Halfway home. 5th inning on the way. So far so good for Jesus Luzardo through 4 innings. Here's a look at his swings and misses. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud.
Well, some of those 4-seamers up top and in the slider down and into righties. 5 strikeouts, and he hasn't walked a Philly. You got to love that. The 4-seamer upstairs at 97. He's hit 99 tonight.
Into right. Soler in his tracks makes the catch, and that's the first out. We check in with Kelly Sacco.
Hey guys, on this Social Tuesday, we are talking WBC. We got a wonderful tweet from Scott. He said outside of Game 7 of the 1997 World Series, the game between USA and Venezuela was the most electrifying game he's ever attended. Lots of fun and excitement and wonderful crowds. I was not at any of those games, but I was at the 2017 WBC. And let me tell you, if it was anything like the first round then, I believe it. It felt like the electricity was coming through the television.
Yeah.
Incredible experience.
It absolutely was, as Stott takes a strike there, 1 ball and 1 strike. Yes, I also did not make it to Miami for the 2023 tournament, but I was in Seoul and San Diego and LA back in 2017. And even though there was no roof on the second 2 stops on my trip, you could still, that was keeping all the sound in as it did in Miami, you could still tell. I mean, it's a great tournament. And I heard from Mark DeRosa this morning, who was the manager for Team USA and played in the tournament earlier. Stott sends one the other way, cut off by De La Cruz. That will keep Stott at first base. That, you know, he's been around it at the beginning, and now this most recent one, that this WBC is only getting bigger.
It's exciting. The crowds that were at Lone Depot Park were incredible, and I was glued to the TV. Didn't make it down, but I was glued to the TV and loved every game that was televised. I loved it. The excitement, the players absolutely loved it. You know, unfortunately, you always wind up having some significant injuries.
Pache pops up the bunt, and Gurriel picked it off the turf. Thankfully, he and Luzardo not colliding there. Looked like Luzardo took a detour at the last second, and Gurriel made the play.
Yeah, nice job by both Jesus and Gurriel. It was trying to bunt for a base hit. Pache was to push it right in between the pitcher's mound and first, but nice job. And Jesus just got out of the way. He was going to go over and cover first in case that ball hit the ground. But with the lefty falling off to the third base side after he delivers the ball, which what Luzardo does, I mean, you just try to do that push bunt. It just doesn't work. And I was mistaken. Luzardo has 1 walk. I was looking at Nola. Nola does not have a walk tonight.
He must have read your scouting report. He hates the walks.
He does hate the walks.
This one sky high. Fortes, Gurriel, who's going to get it. Gurriel. All right. Everybody's okay. To the 6th. Welcome back. It's Dollar Dog Night. And the Philly Fanatic launching from the Hatfield Hog there. Look at that. Great atmosphere here tonight. Seize the midday with Fantasy Fives, a new 105 drawing. You could win tens of thousands of dollars for just $1 or up to $500 instantly with Easy Match. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly. Here's Garrett Cooper to lead it off. Cooper takes a strike. Cooper, Arise, and Soler here in the 6th inning.
Was he actually shooting hot dogs out of that thing?
Oh, was it actually hot dogs? I thought it was T-shirts. It's hot dogs. Oh, wow.
And you want to eat it after that thing?
I don't know.
What about if like the wrapper comes off and
what if you want ketchup?
Separates from the bun?
You have to like fire ketchup.
Do you notice every single hot dog little thing? What is it? You see ketchup on there?
No.
You see mustard. I saw a sign that says ban ketchup from hot dogs. You should.
What kind of company do you keep, by the way?
That's just mustard.
No.
The hat has just mustard. That thing that he was shooting, the Fanatic was shooting hot dogs out of, just has mustard.
I'll load it up. Ketchup, mustard, relish if it's available. Bouncer to second base for Stott. I don't mind a little chili every once in a while. Throw some cheese on there. All right, so here we go. We have. Yeah, that is a hot dog. That's foil.
Wow.
That was right in there. Seal the tube. And then nitrates go a-flying. Look at this. Bang.
That's got to be nutritional.
You've been to Atlanta, obviously. Have you ever gone to the Varsity?
I have not.
That's the first time I ever had a chili cheese and slaw dog.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All in one. Yeah. What do you have over at the Varsity? Arise will have himself extra bases into the corner. Now this will be maybe even 3. Got to that perfect spot into third base with a triple. So his second extra base hit, had a double back in the first. And now his first triple in a Marlins uniform.
Well, it gets caught down that right field corner. Nice job by Luis. He gets a cutter upstairs. It was supposed to be in. And when that cutter's not in, that's what hitters do to it. And he roped it down that right field line. And Castellanos is playing more towards right center field. So a long way for him to run to get that ball.
A closer look will show you that it looks like he may have broken his bat. Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Shattered off the barrel. So what do you think? He got that off the end? Is that what would have caused that?
No, he might have just didn't hit it square, even though he hit it pretty well down the right field line, and just maybe some bad wood.
I don't know. Been a lot of hits in his bats lately.
Yeah, it was time for him to change anyway. There's too many hits in that bat. You need another one.
Well, hopefully there's a hit, or at minimum a deep fly ball off the bat of Soler. The Phillies bring the infield in. And this is one of those spots where the Marlins, in a 1-0 game in the top of the 6th inning, need to get this run home. Soler with a couple of outs in the air today. One to Turner at short, one to right. Nola's 0-1 pitch misses high.
Well, Nola's not going to give in to him. He's going to try to get a ground ball or a strikeout here. You're going to see some pitches besides that fastball up. If I'm Soler, I'm looking down. Maybe look for another changeup right here. Maybe you can get one in the hole.
Outside, 2 balls and a strike. Nola, a free agent to be, has been terrific for this Phillies staff last few years. It's a ball in. His first game in this ballpark this year was 7-5 with a 3.45 ERA and 18 starts at home last season, including the postseason. His last home start was Game 4 of the World Series when the Phillies were no hit by the Houston Astros. That is a foul ball. Arise had to hit the deck and everybody scattered.
No, that was a hanging knuckle curve. And Soler was out in front. You see Luis grab his heart. Look how close he's running down the line just a little bit. Just over his head. There's a better angle right there. Whoa. Everybody gets out of the way. Jody Reed, the third base coach.
3-2. This is down the line. Fair ball. That'll get the run home. Soler on his way to second with an RBI double. Lost sight of it from our vantage point, but that had to be close down the line. Third base umpire John Lipka said it was fair.
Well, nice job by Soler. You watch it. It is fair by about a foot. It was a changeup up in the zone. Nola doesn't give in. Nice job by Soler staying with that pitch.
So the Marlins do get the run home. Fourth double for Soler. Brings up De La Cruz. Sometimes these spots early on for the Marlins, those have been tough. Third lowest batting average with runners in scoring position in the National League. Coming in, the birdie home run and the Soler double providing the Marlins offense against Nola. Foul back, still 0-2. De La Cruz a couple of ground ball outs today. With the way the Marlins have structured the lineup and the swings that De La Cruz has taken, he's settled into that middle third of the Marlins order on this road trip. But he comes up empty here, swinging through that cut fastball from Nola, and there are 2 away.
Well, here's that cutter, and JT setting up late. Now I was talking about the runners at second when they give location. Some of them will give location and, you know, look a different way. Sometimes they'll look back to second if the catcher sets up outside. They'll look to third if it's inside. It's hard to pick up the pitch as well now with pitch com. It's really hard. That's why JT sets up late. A lot of catchers will set up late.
Gurriel 0 for 2. He's popped up in foul territory off of first and off of third today. And a strike 0-2. Were you one of those pitchers a little paranoid, if you will?
No, actually, I didn't like when the catchers moved late. I wanted them to set up as quick as possible. It's almost like I didn't care if they gave location or not. You know, if it threw me off. You know, I wanted somebody to set up just stay there, and that way I could visualize hitting them. But most of the time, you know, guys will set up late just so they don't have the runner at second base. They'll either cross over. Sometimes they'll lead with a certain leg, or step a certain way to give location.
Long look for Nola. Here comes the pitch, fouled straight back. Dollar Dog Night is set off the wave here at Citizens Bank Park. Another 0-2 from Nola. This is outside.
And the one thing Nola does, if you've noticed, when no one's on base or if there's a runner on, he'll go traditional signs. When there's a runner on second, then he goes to the pitch count.
Missed again. His next pitch will be his 90th of the night as Segura waits on deck. Soler off of second. Here's the pitch. 3-2.
And this is also what makes Gurriel so good. He gets behind 0-2, and Nola's gone away with the last 3 pitches, and Gurriel's just basically spitting on him. So, you know, I'm not taking them. I'm not hacking on those ones outside the zone. I'm going to make you come in so I get a good pitch to hit.
Payoff pitch. Here's a ground ball through for a base hit. They send Soler around third. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. Great at bat from Yuli Gurriel. Drives home Soler. Marlins take a 3-0 lead.
Well, he gets that cutter, the 3-2 cutter. Outstanding at bat after down 0-2. Nola tries to go away to get him to try to fish for a couple cutters away. Did not go for it, and he gets one out over the middle of the plate that he's able to hit in that 6-5 hole, and Soler scores easily.
Yeah, obviously last night the final score didn't go well. Marlins have had a pretty similar dynamic with this offense the last few days on this road trip here, but starting to like what you're seeing, especially with, you know, Gurriel, that professional hitter, a great at bat right there coming through against a tough pitcher in Nola, and the Marlins break through for a couple here as there's action now in the Phillies bullpen. Gregory Soto putting, I've never seen it put there before. Usually it's in the, like, the band of the hat. He's putting it right there on top of the old noggin.
Maybe he can't fit it on the side. Took him a while to get that hat on.
How can you hear it from there?
Maybe it buzzes the top. Top of the skull. Like some acupuncture or whatever, just like needles you. This is 2 needles.
Does he only have one pitch in the arsenal? Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
He knows what he's throwing. Anyway, here's Segura. Ball outside.
Well, as long as that little wire goes down, I guess.
But I don't think the pitcher one has the wire. I think the catchers have the wire.
They do?
Yeah, I think the catchers have the wire, and the
well, how do they hear? What is it, that
there's just
whole
a speaker.
thing is a speaker?
Yeah, it's like whatever it is, 4 or 5 inches long, little thing you put kind of in the band of the hat. And he just put it right there on top of his head.
Must be turned up as loud as it can go.
That happened in one of the spring games, and there was not a lot of folks in the ballpark.
And you could hear?
Everybody could hear it.
Might as well just tell them what's coming then. Forget it.
All right.
Don't even use it.
Check on Gurriel at first.
Imagine Mariano Rivera if he had a pitch comm. Cutter.
Yeah,
cutter.
Here it is. Here it comes. Nola delivers. Strike to Segura. A single and a strikeout for Gene so far tonight.
Well, the Marlins have put together some really good at bats in the 3rd inning. Had some traffic on the bases, and again here in the 6th. Really good at bats. Rise, Soler, and Gurriel really making Nola work this inning.
Ball and 2 strikes. Taken outside, 2-2. So Nola at 95 pitches, his first 2 starts. 91 in the opener, 99 his last time out. At 10 Ks in 7 innings against. I'll hold that thought. Here it comes from Nola, and wanted that one. It looked like JT and Gene were chit-chatting after that pitch.
Yeah, Segura says no, that was down, and looked like it caught the bottom of the strike zone.
There goes Gurriel, and we'll do it again. So let me rephrase. For Nola, 72 pitches in his first outing and 87 his last time out against the Yankees. So this is season high in pitches, getting close to 100. And we've seen Soto warming. Have to imagine it's perhaps the last batter tonight for Nola. Runner goes into center, drops in for a base hit. Gurriel will get to third, and Segura's got himself a couple of hits tonight. Marlins still cranking out the hits against Nola, first and third.
Well, Nola trying to go with that cutter. He's been going with that cutter the last few batters. That's another one that just stayed up. It didn't go away. Nice job by Gene. Hit that ball up the middle. Didn't hit it solid, but got enough of it because it was up in the zone.
Well, even though Soto's been heating up down there, no sign of Rob Thompson. So Nola's going to get Fortes here. Defensive swing from Fortes, fouls it off, 0-1. Nick a line drive to third in the third, and a strikeout in the fifth. One of the 6 Ks for Aaron Nola in this one. Marlins have gotten to him for 8 hits, 2 runs in this inning, looking for a little more. They might get it. A knock right into center field. Nick Fortes with an RBI. Gurriel scores, and the Marlins with a 3 spot in the 6th have a 4-0 lead. 3 straight 2-out hits for the Marlins.
And that's going to be it for Nola. Nola trying to use that cutter to get some outs or a ground ball, and he's just left it up. There's another cutter, and it just spins and stays up. And nice job by Nick Fortes, just going straight back up the middle. Little RBI base hit. Great at bats by the Marlins this inning.
It started with Gurriel, Segura up the middle, and then Fortes. So the Phillies go to the bullpen. The Florida Lottery call to the bullpen here in the top of the 6th. Lead. They've plated 3 runs off of Nola and run him from the game here in the 6th inning. Bring the whole family out to Lone Depot Park every Wednesday home game for the 4 for $44 ticket offer. You get 4 game tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas or waters, and 2 small popcorns for $44. Purchase at marlins.com/offers. That next Wednesday home game will be the series finale against the San Francisco Giants, the last game of the next homestand. Here's Gregory Soto. This will be his 6th game so far this year. An off-season ad for the Phillies as John Birdie takes a pitch a little bit low.
Yeah, Tomlinson's not giving that low strike. Questionable one to Segura that was called for a ball in that one. You know, Soto has a big time fastball, 96, 97, throws a lot of sliders. He has a change, but doesn't really feature that. He had 30 saves for the Tigers last year. I'm really shocked with the troubles that the Phillies have had at the back end of their bullpen, how this guy is not your closer.
And all-star the last 2 years in Detroit. I mentioned Cody Clemens, who got the start at first base last night. Soto and Clemens came over to Detroit. Went Nick Maton, Donnie Sands, and Matt Vierling, who had played some outfield for the Phils last couple of years. First and second, 3-0 count to Birdie. And there's a strike.
Well, now you let it go. 3-1. You know you're going to probably get a fastball down the middle. You unleash and see him get your second home run for the game.
Inside ball 4, and they're loaded. Marlins will send the 9th man of the inning to the plate. And you're right. I mean, Soto's got a live arm, but they also have Jose Alvarado, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and then one of this generation's best closers, even though he may be on the, with all due respect, the back 9 of his career. Craig Kimbrell, part of this bullpen for the Phillies as well. Jazz takes a strike. But the early returns have not been good. Phillies last in the National League in ERA at 6.87. Ball 1 to Jazz. A couple of strikeouts, a single and a stolen base back in the 3rd.
Soto with a slide step. He'll lift that leg, and those last 2 pitches he slide steps. It's like a quick pitch. He threw that slider and then that fastball at 97. Trying to throw the rhythm off the hitter.
You can see that that is the book on Jazz. See if he'll expand the zone. He's been really good at knowing where that outside part of the plate is, and that's why he was a little upset over the weekend. That one missed. And it's a 2-2 coming from Soto. Jazz bounces one up the middle. Stott will take the momentum right to the bag, but the Marlins get 3 in the inning and give Luzardo a 4-0 lead. Welcome back to Philadelphia. Paul Severino, Jeff Nelson, Kelly Sacco, the rest of our Valley Sports crew. Marlins trying to even up this series at a game apiece, leading 4-0. Jesus Luzardo has a little more breathing room right now, but facing a tough part of his Phillies order. Schwarber, Real Muto, and Castellanos here in the 6th. There's a strike.
No, he got a nice cushion, and this is where you want it, right? I mean, his first start 5 2/3. His last start against the Twins, he did go 7.
And Schwarber, low liner, hit out so quick, didn't have time to curve foul. Home run for Kyle Schwarber.
Well, it's only one. You made a mistake, and if you're Jesus, you just want to continue to want to go deep into that ball game. He had 66 pitches entering this inning. Fastball in the inner half after missing with that slider, and Schwarber was just able to keep that fair.
Now Real Muto on a hop. Side saddle there for Segura, makes the play. And now word from Estrella. Now Castellanos, a base hit and the lone walk for Luzardo today. Takes a fastball up and in. Numbers are high, but through only a couple of starts for Luzardo, so kind of throw those out. But that 3rd time through the order last year, he was at a 194 batting average against. Did have a 715 OPS, however.
Well, if you look, you watch Sandy and how he goes about his game, and when he gets late in the ball game, it's at another level. He increases his intensity to another level. It's like there's another gear that he goes to that is, okay, I want this complete game. I look at Luzardo's first game, and he got into that 6th inning, and it almost, to me, he had great stuff and did a great job, but it felt like he saw the ending. He said, okay, I probably have just this inning and that's it. And for a pitcher, if you want to learn from Sandy, look how he goes about his business that 6th, 7th, or that 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. There's another gear that he has.
Sharply hit through the left side and knocked for Castellanos. So he's been on base 3 times. And Luzardo, really, that's 3 hard hit balls.
Yeah, it is. And Luzardo has that gear. When he gets late in the ball game, it's like, okay, I've gotten us to this part. Am I feeling like this is the ending? I mean, we've seen the fastball about 94, 95, the home run by Schwarber, the hard hit ground ball by Real Muto, and then that base hit by Castellanos.
Check swing off the bat of Alec Bohm, foul, 0-1.
You keep battling until they start getting the bullpen off the Marlins, and then your job is done. I mean, 76 pitches is nothing. I mean, he's got an extra gear. He's got that extra in the tank.
Check on Castellanos. That single was 107 off the bat. The home run from Schwarber was 113. Good pitch. Got the call at down and in corner, so he gets ahead 0-2.
Yeah, it's a pitch that Tomlinson hasn't been really calling all night on both sides. Really benefited Luzardo right there. And it was a strike.
Bohm grounded into a double play his last time up. Also struck out looking back in the 2nd inning. One of the 5 strikeouts for Luzardo, but he hasn't had one since he got Schwarber back in the 3rd. Popped in front of the Phillies dugout. Gurriel is there.
That was a nice pitch. Fastball upstairs, and you go down with that breaking ball, then next thing you know, you raise the eye level. Jammed Bohm there. Little pop, foul pop.
Now Josh Harrison, swing and a miss. He's at 80 pitches. If he can get through this 6th in relatively short order, I'd like to think that he's still got a 7th in him, right?
Yeah, nobody's up in the Marlins bullpen. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, he's got that extra gear in him.
And he gave up a home run. Sure, he gave up a home run to a guy that led the league last year. It's going to happen. Is that got Fortes, who will take another moment or 2.
Yeah, that might have got him in the hand. It was a spiked changeup by Jesus, and I think Nick got it in the hand, straight in the hand too, off the dirt. Yeah, it was just a rush changeup that he spiked in the dirt. Just looked like he got him in the thumb. He got that glove out, and it just got him right in that thumb.
Skip Schumacher and head athletic trainer Lee Meyer out to talk with Fortes. Because sometimes the spin will take the ball in a different direction, right?
Right. I mean, especially on a breaking pitch with the changeup, usually it just goes straight. But he did a nice job to get in front of it. It just didn't hit any part of the glove. It got all skin. But you're right. A breaking ball, you think it would just continue after it hits the dirt, going the same direction, but it actually goes the opposite way. Good job, Paul.
Well, I'm just regurgitating what I've heard from you guys for a while. That one down and in. Luzardo yanked that one. Harrison somehow got out of the way of it.
Yeah, last 2 pitches, he's just been a little quick. You see this, a great job by Fortes again. Turn that glove the other way. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Just stay back. He got a little quick on those 2 pitches. Now this is when you tell yourself, okay, I'm getting out of this right now. Same mentality you had through the first 5.
3 balls and a strike. Got a piece of the fastball. So 3-2, and that'll release Castellanos at first base. Payoff pitch is foul. Harrison a little out in front of it. Since 2018, Harrison's been around Pittsburgh, Detroit, Washington, Oakland, the White Sox, and now the Phillies here in 2023.
And this is where you learn as a pitcher. You know, I like that they really haven't gotten anybody up in some sense, because, hey, you know, this is how you have to learn to get out of this.
Birdie ranges, knocks it down. Harrison's going to beat it out. Birdie had to go to his right in the hole, and now the tying run will come to the plate.
Well, it was a fastball out over the middle of the plate. You see it just hit off the heel of Birdie's glove as he goes to that backhand. Not really sure if you would have got Harrison at first anyway. And if you're Nick Fortes, it's like, okay, let's bear down. You got to want this right now. You know, this is where you mature as a pitcher. And Mel Stoudemire Jr. is going to go out and have a little talk with him as Nardi gets up.
And you never want to make too much of a game in April when there's so much season in front of you. But Luzardo's at a spot against this lineup in this environment, 43,000 deep into his pitch count, protecting a lead late, that if he gets through it, this might be one of those moments we look back at all season long and say that's when he again got through a tough spot and was able to really lock it down.
Well, mentally you have to tell yourself, this is my game. You know, again, I keep going back to Sandy, but he's a perfect one to learn from. I mean, look at him in the 7th, 8th, and the 9th inning, and how, you know, after the 8th inning, Sandy disappears in that dugout. He doesn't want anyone to come up. This is my game. And there you go. You see 97. That's what you want. This is my game. This might be my last inning, but this is my game. He had 66 pitches going into this 6th inning. Plenty left in the tank.
Down and into Soto, 1 ball and 1 strike, or Sosa rather, 1 ball and 1 strike, a strikeout and a line out to right. He's 0 for 2. 89th pitch for the Marlins lefty. Here it comes. It's popped up. Foul territory. Gurriel giving it a look, and it's going to fall into no man's land. Long run for he and the right fielder Soler, and the second baseman Arise, who was in the vicinity. Leadoff homer for Schwarber. Castellanos a 1-out single. Harrison with a 2-out single.
Well, fastball upstairs or that breaking ball down the back leg.
Foul back. In front of us. Still 1-2.
Well, there's that extra gear. He has it. 98 on that fastball.
Pitch, and that one got Sosa in the arm. So that will load the bases for Bryson Stott, whose single in the 5th inning extended his hit streak to 11 to start the year.
Well, he tried to hump up, and you know, he was inside, fastball up.
I think Luzardo was trying to maybe convince the home plate umpire that Sosa didn't do a great job trying to get out of the way of it.
No, he didn't.
They check down at 3rd, no swing, and it's a ball and no strikes.
That's a big AB here, lefty on lefty. And if you're going to give him that fastball, you want to try to spot that on the outside part of the plate and down, see if you get a ground ball.
27th pitch this inning, misses upstairs. Well, that was still a 97-mile-per-hour offering, so there's gas left in the tank. A 2-0 is in there for a strike. Nardi was up, still getting a scouting report, it looks like, and Oscar Brazaban warming. Good pitch to even it up at 2-2.
Yeah, Stott looking for a fastball, and he gets a breaking ball, trying to cheat on that fastball. Now just don't overthrow this slider. You can throw that down and away again.
Now Fortes saved a run, and you can start the merry-go-round here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases are loaded. Castellanos, Harrison, and Sosa third to first.
Well, you throw a 2-2, you throw a 3-2. Throw another slider.
There they go. Here it comes. Foul back, and we'll do it again. Again, Stott has been a hit machine early on, hitting .419 in the first couple of weeks of the season. Has a hit in every game this year. Here it comes. That's in the left, and it gets down a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes the second. They throw to first, and they got stopped. It went De La Cruz to Segura over to Gurriel. We'll take a closer look when we get back, but the Phillies get a little closer, 4-3. 1-run game. Bryson Stott with the big hit to drive home 2, Nelly.
Yeah, fastball, you saw it's up. It wasn't away where Fortes wanted it. It gets down. A nice job by De La Cruz. He hits the cutoff man, exactly what you want to do. And heads up throw by Segura as Stott takes that wide turn. There you see that wide turn. Puts on the brakes. Nice throw, nice tag by Gurriel.
And that has been an issue for the Phillies this year. It's another out on the bases. That makes 8 already this year, and that's the most in Major League Baseball. So certainly a good team in a lot of different regards, but I'm sure Rob Thompson would like to clean some of that stuff up. I mean, that's the situation right there. You're the Phillies. You've got Luzardo on the ropes. He's already given up the 3. The place is rocking, and maybe the Marlins either get the momentum back or at worst stop the Phillies as Connor Brogdon deals to Cooper a strike.
And De La Cruz did a nice job getting the ball back in, and really Segura is that cutoff man to home, and he had to go back with that bounce, but nice throw by Gene over to first. Got a break.
Brogdon, the 3rd pitcher for the Phillies tonight. Cooper takes the fastball up.
Yeah, Brogdon 94-95 on the fastball. He's got a cutter, and he also has a change. His changeup he throws a lot, 40% of the time.
2-2 pitch is called strike 3.
Now you see where JT Realmuto sets up, and it's a sinker down and in. 96 from Brogdon.
Arise takes a strike. Sound like a broken record every night, but a good night at the plate here for Luis Arise. Another multi-hit game, a double in the first, a triple, and a run scored in the 6th. And takes a ball low.
Yeah, Brogdon will throw that changeup a lot to lefties. He'll feature it to a righty, but more so he's not afraid to double up, triple up. He'll throw that changeup 4 times in a row on occasion.
In the air, deep left field, going way back, And that's gone. A home run to the opposite field for Luis Arraez. What a night. His third extra base hit.
Who said he's not a home run hitter? After 2 changeups, he hits a fastball, and he's a single away from the first cycle, right? In Marlins history?
In Marlins history, absolutely.
That's the easy one for him.
Well, Marlins get one right back. Talking about momentum. 5-3 now.
That was a fastball on the outside part. 95 goes the other way. That just kept carrying. Just over the wall in that little flower bed.
Well, so for a guy who was second by 1 to Ahmed Rosario in singles last year, that's all he needs for the first cycle in Marlins franchise history. And diving play by Sosa at third. Soler is out. Great play over at third base. You know, we came on the air, our hashtag tonight, WBC 2023. Arraez put on a show for Team Venezuela with a 2-home run game at Lone Depot Park late in that tournament. But those were, I think they were both pull home runs. This was the opposite field.
Exactly. He hits you 20 now.
Man,
he's got the easy one. Well, he might have a chance to get another AB here in the 9th inning.
Well, one to De La Cruz down and away.
It's one of those at bats in the 9th where he catches a third baseman back, just lays one down. He can do that too.
Marlins are the last team in Major League Baseball without a cycle. Chopper to shortstop for Turner. Makes the play. And the inning is over, but the Marlins get one back on the Arraez home run. Bottom of the 7th, the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Baptist Health. We welcome you back from the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Baptist Health, and we check in with Kelly Sacco.
Hey guys, what perfect timing on this Social Tuesday. We're talking WBC. Luis Arraez hits a home run. He did a couple of those in the WBC as well. And there is number 1, Luis Arraez. Never in his major league or minor league career has he had a multi-home run game. Well, he saved it for Lone Depot Park, putting on a show for the fans. That place went wild, representing Team Venezuela. And here comes number 2. That one was crushed. A no-doubter into right field, off the pole. My goodness. I know Marlins fans were so excited seeing what they had from Luis Arraez. And like you guys said, this guy known for a bat-to-ball contact type hitter, but showing a little power here early this season and in the WBC back in March.
Absolutely. And now all eyes on Arraez to maybe get an at-bat in the 9th inning and maybe get that elusive Marlins cycle as Dylan Floro takes over.
Yeah, Luis had 8 last year, so I hope double digits. We're asking for double digits. Yeah, Floro making his 4th appearance, 3 2/3, 1 hit, no walks, and 4 strikeouts.
This is Brandon Marsh hitting for Christian Pache. And a ball outside.
We got a little breathing room now with one back there in the top of the 7th.
Strike inside corner, 1-2. That's what makes baseball a funny game, right? That play on the Stott hit, all the momentum's for Philly. But the Marlins execute well on defense. They get Stott, rallies over. Marlins come back, get one, and now they've got a 2-run cushion.
Yeah, you run yourself right out of an inning, and you're getting to the point in the Marlins bullpen where you had Brazoban and Nardi up with a lot of pressure. That was probably Jesus's last hitter, and now you get to the point where you give Floro a clean inning.
Floro's 1-2 to Marsh is close. But
wow, that was a really good pitch. He's got the ability to throw that two-seam fastball in on lefties, and it just catches that corner. That was a good pitch.
Now that one in the dirt. 3-2. Sure, the Philly Fanatics had a couple of dollar hot dogs tonight.
He's been shooting him out of his gun there for.
I think Fortes, that last ball in the dirt, may have had a little of the wind knocked out of him or something. Home plate umpire Nate Tomlinson making sure to clear off the plate, let him get his breath back. Marsh lines it foul. Marsh last night was 3 for 5, had a couple of doubles and a home run. And he will take his base to start the inning. Top of the order, Trey Turner. Oh for 3 for the Phillies shortstop tonight. A ball outside.
Well, Luzardo did a really nice job in those 3 at-bats of frustrating Turner. All 3 at-bats got him with a heater. Just have to watch the fastball inside here.
Check on Marsh over there at first base. Got on and missed. Marsh has 1 steal this year, 17 in his career.
I think the bat got Nick on the back of the head. That swing by Turner.
He's had a
It's
rough
been a rough
last
scene. I actually got him on the
45 minutes.
elbow. Yeah, this is not a fun position to play. I think that backswing, you watch the backswing, might have caught him on the elbow. There it is. Yeah.
Good to see Trey Turner checking in on him. Player never wants to injure the catcher on the backswing there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Right center. Soler makes the catch, throws to first, and Marsh will get back in time. So an 0 for 4 tonight for Trey Turner, and that'll bring up Kyle Schwarber.
Nice pitch by Floro. Slider on the outside part of the plate. Just off the end of the bat from Turner. A little pop up to right field.
Now the scoring started for the Phillies in the 6th inning with a leadoff home run. He takes the ball up. And Schwarber led the National League in home runs last year. Hit his 200th career home run last week against the Yankees. Ball outside, 2-0.
Yeah, he's going to stay away from Schwarber with the fastball away, some changeups away. Schwarber looking for something in.
Fouls it back, and this is where it helps the Marlins to have that depth and those options late in games, right? Floro, Scott, Puck, Barnes, all these guys that have locked down games. Because even though the scoreboard says 7th, it's a 2-run game with the thick part of the Phillies lineup coming up. And Floro has closed out many a game in his career as he gets Schwarber to swing and miss.
Yeah, real good changeup. You're right. I mean, a lot of games are decided in the 7th and 8th. May not be a save for Floro, whoever pitches the 8th, but a lot of times you get the best part of the lineups in those middle innings.
Ball outside, 3-2. Real Muto waits on deck. Castellanos would follow. Time is called by Schwarber.
Yeah, you got to watch Marsh over here at first. With 3-2, he may run.
Knowing that, they check. Not going. Payoff pitch is outside. Two walks for Floro. Tying run is up, and JT coming to the plate. JT's 0 for 3. Strikeout in the first and a couple of ground outs against Jesus Luzardo. Ground ball. That went off the runner, I think. Did that get the foot of Marsh going by?
No, I think it just took a really bad hop.
Yeah, either way, the Marlins turned the double play. That looked funky. Birdie stuck with it. 6-4-3. I'll tell you what, Craig, that's a good nugget there, and I'm looking at a very similar list here. Twice it's been against the Phillies. Dan Uggla and Josh Willingham in 2007. Maybe tonight's the night they finally break through. That's right. Yeah, see, same list. Look at us. Somebody actually did their homework for tonight's game. That's good. How about Rod? How about the night for Jesus Luzardo? Had to battle a little bit late, but what'd you see for him big picture tonight?
It may have, but you know, if you look at his first start, he got into the 6th. His last start against the Twins, he did pitch 7. You know, like I was talking about, he has the ability to have that extra gear, and I think he just sometimes when he gets late in the ball game, he sees the end, and instead of just having that drive and that extra gear to shoot to the 9th and want to complete what you started, he sees the end.
That's a fair ball, and Gurriel may have himself extra bases. It kicks to Harrison, who throws to second. Not in time. It's a leadoff double for Yuli Gurriel.
Well, nice job, new pitcher Bellotti. He throws a lot of sliders, and this was a slider down. Sosa off the bag, not playing the line. It hits off of that extension that where the stands are. Nice job by Gurriel. 2 hits in a row his last 2 at bats.
Yeah, and what that does is, unless there's a strange double play here, that would ensure that Luis Arraez will get a crack at it at least in the 9th inning. Tap foul by Segura.
Yeah, Andrew Bellotti has a fastball 94, 95, but that slider he throws 60% of the time. So a lot of them, a lot of sliders to righties. Might keep you honest with the fastball inside, but he goes right back to that slider.
Couple of hits tonight for Segura, including an RBI in the 6th inning. Cut on and missed. Bellotti was a 12th round pick of the Rays back in 2009. Spent a little time with the Marlins, pitched in 3 games with them in 2021. Career high 59 games and a 3.31 ERA with the Phillies in their bullpen last year. Segura got a piece of it to stay alive.
You watch Gene, all these sliders that he sees, if he doesn't come inside with a fastball, Gene will shoot him the other way.
Long look for Bellotti. Misses down, a ball and 2 strikes. Gurriel with the leadoff double leads away from second. A 1-2. And Segura is down on strikes. Now word from Baptist Health.
Thankfully, Baptist Health is here for moments you don't see coming.
Here's Nick Fortes. RBI single in the 6th inning. And a line drive to Stott at second. So there are 2 away for the Marlins' number 9 hitter, John Birdie. A 2-run lead for the Marlins, 5-3 here in the 8th inning. You know that leadoff double would be a big insurance run. Marlins have Brazoban warming in their bullpen. It'll be Castellanos, Bohm, and Harrison due up for the Phillies in the bottom of the 8th. Birdie takes a strike. He got the scoring started back in the 3rd. And a solo home run to center field. Brazoban continues to get hot down there in the Marlins pen.
The big home run by Birdie in the 3rd, and how about in the 7th with Arraez after Phillies coming back and scoring 3. Luis gets one back, 5-3. Big insurance run.
I'll take you back to the home run in the 3rd for John Birdie. Statcast 3D powered by Google Cloud.
He gets a hanging knuckle curve from Nola. 417 in those trees in dead central.
That ties for his 2nd longest home run of his career. Dead center here at Citizens Bank Park. And a base hit into center. That will score a big insurance run. John Birdie with a good night. Gurriel scores and the Marlins lead at 6-3.
Well, outstanding piece of hitting. 2 fastballs. This is 0-2. 2 fastballs by Bellotti, and then he goes right back to that slider that he throws so often. You got to love the tack on insurance runs. There's that slider out over the middle of the plate and down. He just goes right back up the middle. Nice piece of hitting. Nice RBI. There's Gurriel rounding third.
Brings up Jazz. Takes the ball outside. Marlins have scored in the last 3 innings. Something that they really didn't do a whole lot of, which was kind of fill up the line score in that first week and a half.
Well, you like the 6th inning where they were getting some key hits with runners in scoring position, and this right there as well. 2 outs, 2 out base hit RBI from Birdie.
There he goes. Throw from Real Muto gets into center field. And Birdie would have had to hurdle Trey Turner. He thought better of it. Stays put. So a stolen base for John Birdie.
A good pitch of steal on the slider from Bellotti. You see the jump. Good jump by Birdie. JT's got to rush his throw.
And now that his second stolen base for the major league stolen base leader last year. That's another big run. If Jazz can come through with a 2-out knock. Low, 2 balls and a strike. Three and one. Well, Garrett Cooper's spot is due up next, but it's Jesus Sanchez in the on deck circle. Jazz cuts and misses at the slider, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, Jazz looking for a fastball right there. Gets a little breaking pitch. Now he's going to get it again.
This one is out toward right center field. Long run. Marsh will not get there. It gets to the wall and Birdie scores. Jazz racing to second, still headed to third, and he is in there with an RBI triple. (7-3) Marlins, a couple of big runs here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, with 2 outs, you got to love to see that. And Jazz did not slow down. Once he hit that ball in the gap, you see there's a fastball. I was really surprised he came back with a fastball upstairs. Hits it into right center field, and Jazz was thinking 3 all the way.
Well, it is Sanchez hitting for Garrett Cooper. Not sure if it's a lefty righty matchup thing or if something went wrong with the Marlins DH tonight. And a swing and a miss. Well, if Sanchez can extend the inning, great. But either way, Luis Arraez will bat in this game, a single shy of what could be the Marlins' first cycle in franchise history.
If he hits one in the gap, do you hold up, knowing that it's already 7-3? Could be more.
To what? To make sure that first base isn't open, you mean?
Well, I mean, just to get the cycle.
Oh, if you're a Rise. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
who do you think I'm thinking about? Sanchez?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Sanchez.
Sanchez is not going to hold up.
That's why I was confused.
Okay. If Luis Arise
right, I got you now.
hits one in the gap, does he like crawl to first?
I don't know. I think he probably takes it to second. I think if the spread was a little bit more than the 4 or 5 that it could be, you know,
I think
you're pumping the brakes.
I bet you somebody has told him that, hey, there's not been a cycle in Marlins history. Shut it down.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Here it comes. 3-2.
Well, he's not throwing a slider for strike. If I'm Sanchez, I'm unleashing on this fastball if he gets it.
Jazz leads off third. Payoff pitch from Bellotti is outside, ball 4. And is this the night we see Marlins history? Luis Arise, second most singles in baseball last year, needs one of those right here for the first cycle in the history of the Marlins, the last team without one. And here comes Caleb Cotham, pitching coach for the Phillies.
Well, he's got the easy one left. Wonder how many cycles that the single was the one that's the last one left
for the Marlins.
No, I mean, no,
4 for the Marlins.
Oh, really?
4 for the Marlins, yeah.
So the last chance that they had, all 4 of them were singles?
That is correct.
Where they needed the single?
And this is the 4,700th game, 30th anniversary of the team. The last one to answer your question.
So
Omar,
the other 3 or other 4 were triple double homer.
Yeah. Omar Infante was a single shy on April 7th, 2012. Dan Uggla a single shy May 23rd, 2007. A few weeks before that, also on April 7th, 2007, Josh Willingham was a single shy. And Gary Sheffield in '94 had a 2-homer game and was a single shy.
Wow. The easiest one left, and they couldn't get it done.
Now, few were better at picking up 90 feet than Arise last year. First and third. A pitch from Bellotti is down and in. Double in the first. Triple and a run scored in the 6th, and an opposite field home run in the 7th. Bellotti's 1-0. Taken down. Two and 0 in there for a strike. Long look. Pitch clock down to 1, and that is going to get down a base hit. The first cycle in Marlins franchise history. Luis Arise. The final piece of the puzzle. The last team in baseball without one. And Luis Arise is the guy.
That is incredible. Congratulations. Now, I've seen players, he got the ball, but I've seen players take the base. It's a pretty heavy base now. It's 18 inches, but
that's right.
I've seen players take the base.
And oh, by the way, it scores Jazz to make it 8-3. And there's the baseball, Major League Baseball's authenticator. 4,700 games. And Luis Arraez is the one. A double, a triple, a homer, and this single, something he's been famous for, slapping it the other way.
Well, another slider, and he is such a great hitter. It's like a tennis player, just like serving it. Well, I'll just serve it in the left, I'll serve it in the right. Thing of beauty right there.
And it was a clean single. He didn't have to think about not going to second or questionable error or anything like that. A clean single to left field. And a 2-2 pitch to Soler. A swing and a miss. Marlins get 3 more and make some history. First cycle in franchise history. Luis Arraez with a big night in Philly. Marlins lead 8-3. But the first cycle in Marlins franchise history. What a night for him. Yeah, pumped up for sure. Congratulations all around. Some new faces in that group too.
Now, do you think any of them knew that that was the first one in Marlins history?
That's a good question. We'll find out in the postgame. I would think so, because I think De La Cruz was on the doorstep a few times. There's a look at your Venezuelans who have hit for the cycle. The last being Eduardo Escobar last year for the New York Mets. Pablo Sandoval, Carlos Gonzalez, Carlos Guillen, Cesar Tovar back in 1972, and Luis Arraez joins the list tonight. Ground ball to shortstop, and Birdie makes the play. So some changes for the Marlins with an 8-3 lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Garrett Hampson takes over in right field, so that takes Jorge Soler out of the game. He'll take over in that 4th spot in the batting order for the Marlins. And Huascar Brazoban, who has gotten the first out here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, Brazoban making his 5th appearance, 6 1/3. 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. One of those multiple inning guys for the Marlins this year.
Third pitcher tonight for the Marlins. This one a slow chopper to third. Segura won't have a play. An infield single for Alec Bohm, who's now 1 for 4. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Lone Depot Park. Buy and sell game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. You know, you go to the ballpark, you see something you've never seen before. And if you've been to all 4,700 Marlins games, you've never seen the cycle.
I don't know if that person exists.
We got some folks on our crew that have been to most home games. I'll tell you that. That's half. Josh Harrison up the third base line, but foul.
Now, have you ever called or seen a cycle?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I think so, yeah. Freeman. Definitely a Freddie Freeman one. I think Freeman had one of the last ones against the Marlins, of which there have only been a few of those, too. Freddie Freeman, Cody Bellinger in 2017, and Todd Helton back in 1999. So those are the 3 cycles against the Marlins. And now the Marlins have their first. It was the Padres. They were the last team without a no-hitter before Joe Musgrove last year. And that was That was cool for them. Of course, he grew up not far from the ballpark. And they've been around a little bit longer, but, you know, 30 years of the Marlins, and a guy who's been here for 15 minutes or so. He's got the cycle. 4,700 games. Just waiting for that magic number. That's what it was.
Yeah,
nice,
you know,
round number.
With the players that have come through this organization, you figure that at least it would have happened once, maybe even twice. But the way Luis Arraez did it, how about the Oppo home run?
Yeah.
The right center field gap triple.
So J.J. Bleday was the last one to do it, to be a home run shy of the cycle.
We're actually right down the right field line triple. Sorry.
Right. Yes. Into that right field corner. Brian De La Cruz is actually the last 3 Marlins to fall a triple shy of the cycle. He did that in September last year on the 24th, the 28th, and then a few days later on October 3rd. So he was a triple shy of the cycle 3 times. There's a bunch of Marlins a triple shy last year. Tapped foul. And then Marlins that were a double shy of the cycle. The last one to be a double shy was Jesus Sanchez in 2021. But now those lists are rendered just about useless because we don't have to worry about it.
Like a golf clap. A little golf clap. Thanks for your effort.
That's right. Up and in on Josh Harrison. So the first 2 men are aboard here in the 8th inning. And this is an important part of the order here, that Brazoban locks it down, because you've got Sosa now, then Stott, who's been hot, and then Marsh, and then the top of the order. And as we saw last night, these Phillies can score pretty quick.
Yeah, and I think the Marlins are going to get somebody up in the bullpen just in case something happens here.
That one taken high. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, it looks like Puck out in the Marlins bullpen getting ready.
See, that's where you're supposed to put the pitch count, not on the top of your head. Swung through that fastball and count even up 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, he doesn't have the big hair that
good point
Soto has. And he's trying to shove that hat on his head.
And a good job to get the strikeout of Edmundo Sosa. That was the cutter from Brazoban, and a big out number 2.
Yeah, nice pitch. He threw a couple pitches outside that Sosa was able to foul off, and this one's just far enough away. Good pitch. Expand the zone.
Two on and 2 out for Bryson Stott. Takes a strike. Couple more hits for Stott. He's got that average at .432. His 8th multi-hit game of the year, tied with Luis Arraez, who has a 4-hit game today. Cut on and missed, and Brazoban locked in. He gets the strikeout. Back-to-back Ks as we head to the 9th. We head to the 9th inning. It'll be the Florida Lottery call to the bullpen. And the Phillies go to one of their new faces down there in the bullpen, an 8-time All-Star. And a guy who has won that Reliever of the Year award in both leagues, Craig Kimbrell, pitching in his 5th game this season. Not a save situation, of course, but 395 of them in his career.
He's had a lot of success early. You know, the last couple years really has struggled with his command. Fastball velocity has dropped. He used to throw about 97 and 98 miles an hour with a nasty breaking ball. Fastball about 94, 95 now. He still has that nasty breaking ball. 35 years old.
Been around for a while, 14 seasons, 7th on the all-time saves list, just a couple ahead of Kenley Jansen, who's pitching with the Boston Red Sox this year. And a guy again who's won a Rookie of the Year award, closing in on 400. I mean, is that going to be the number? You think he's a Hall of Famer now, or does he need to get to 400? What do you think?
I don't see him as a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry, but
okay.
I mean, he has some decent numbers, but I don't see him there.
I certainly trust your eye. You're terrific out of the bullpen and worked with the greatest of all time. But why not? What lacks for you?
I mean, if you look at anyone, I mean, you look at Hoffman, you look at Mo Rivera. The one that just fell, the lefty,
Billy Wagner.
Billy Wagner just fell short.
Now, I know Eckersley started at times throughout his career. He's got 390 saves. He's got more saves than Eckersley.
You know, I think you look, you know, sometimes it's not that he's hanging on, but sometimes you look at stats late in the, you know, late in his career.
Sure.
He's really struggled the last few years. Sometimes that takes away from his votings, the people that vote.
De La Cruz walks to lead off the 9th inning.
You see him as a Hall of Famer?
I think it's something you probably have to take a deep dive into. I mean, he broke in 2010, had one save then, but then 46, 42, 50, 47 in a 4-year stretch where he either led the league or led all of baseball. Then he was an All-Star again in 2021 after a couple of not as dominant seasons with the Cubs in 19 and 20. But it's certainly an interesting case to be made. 1,100 strikeouts.
I mean, he does have a great career ERA, you know, at 2.3. You know, I just think, I mean, you look at Jim Cobb, which I think is a Hall of Famer.
Sure.
I think his last few years in the major leagues, I think he struggled a little bit. And I think that took away from some of his Hall of Fame numbers, or his numbers, and maybe caused some voters to look at that and say, oh, well, you look at the end of his career.
Strikeout of Gurriel for the first out.
I mean, he still has stuff in the tank, but I think that you start looking at those numbers the last few years in his career, and how's that? I mean, he's 35. I mean, I don't know how much longer he wants to play.
A strike to Segura. So from 2019 until today, and that's your average fastball velocity there for Kimbrel. But from 2019 to today, a 3.91 ERA and 62 saves, which is an average of 12 per year. But you're right. I mean, I think that Billy Wagner's attempts to get in is one of those trailblazer types,
right?
I guess. One of those like, well, he got in, so he should get in, sort of thing. But listen, it's an interesting debate, and I can only respect your opinion. I mean, again, you've set up for the greatest that ever did it for so long.
I mean, I think it could be close. You know, I'm glad I don't have to make that decision, but I think it could be close.
Segura to first base. Bohm feeds Turner and gets back to the bag. Segura grounds into the double play, and we'll head to the bottom of the 9th inning. 8-3. Valley Sports is brought to you by the Florida Lottery, which has generated over $43 billion for Florida's students and schools. And by Toyota, visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. Boathouse Row in Philadelphia, the site of the first cycle in Marlins franchise history. Luis Arraez, a closer look at the double, triple, homer, and single. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud.
Is it most impressive the home run the other way? Yeah, opposite field. Usually, he pulled the ones in the WBC.
Yeah, off the bat, I didn't think it was going to carry out of here. And it just got over the wall, over that little fence, into the flower bed. And he needed the single in the 8th inning to finish it off. There's a single for Brandon Marsh into right field to start the 9th as Brazoban goes back to work.
In that triple, Castellanos was playing him into right center field. He had a long way to run down in that right field gap. He was able to get in there for a triple. If he's over just a little bit, that might have been just a double.
Well, that's the perfect spot to hit it. In that corner, longest throw for the outfield. And once you get that triple, feels like it's relatively easy from there. A fly ball out to Jazz in center. Of course, easy for me to say. It takes an opposite field home run for a guy who's not known for his power, but triple always seems to be the toughest one. 1 on and 1 out after the fly ball off Turner's bat. So the 4,700 games to get to a cycle for the Marlins. The longest, second longest that they've needed to get to it. The longest streak was same team that didn't have a no-hitter for the longest time, the San Diego Padres. 7,444 games. Schwarber down the left field line, slicing foul.
I think he should have taken the base.
Well, there's still time. I mean, they needed to play with it, right? I mean,
no, there's plenty of them. They have a whole bunch of those bases back there, those pizza boxes.
Well, he might be heading back to South Florida with a few mementos. You never know. Or he might end up in Cooperstown. Who knows? I don't know. Last team without a cycle.
Yeah. My teammate Jay Buhner, we played together in Seattle. He had one. His last one was a triple, and he picked up the base and took it off. Took it home with him.
How about that?
They just played without a third base the rest of the game.
Schwarber is down on strikes. Didn't love the call, but that's out number 2.
Well, nice breaking ball. Just caught the bottom of that strike zone. That's an 8-3 strike right there. But nice job by Brazoban coming back in that 8th inning, getting through that with some damage on the bases, traffic on the bases. And hopefully complete this game, give him 2 innings, save the bullpen a little bit.
Pitch to Real Muto is ripped down the left field line. Going to get down and get to the wall. They're going to wave Marsh around. Throw from Birdie will not be made. RBI double for Real Muto. And the Phillies not done just yet.
Well, puck does get up again in the Marlins bullpen, just in case. You see this pitch up in the zone, a fastball. Real Muto looking for that first pitch fastball. He gets it. He hits it down the line. Actually, it was a 1-0 pitch, 1-0 fastball that he hits down the line for an RBI double.
Swing there for Castellanos, and it's 0-1. Marlins trying to lock this one down and set up a rubber match tomorrow with Edward Cabrera and Zach Wheeler facing off. Our coverage starts at 3:30 for a first pitch a little after 4 o'clock, and the Marlins are a strike away. Blocked there by Fortes.
Nick's going to have to just dunk his whole body in an ice bath after this game. He's been beat up. The hand, the elbow.
How about this? I just heard that the Reds now have the longest streak. Not since June of 1989 have they had a cycle. So that's before the Marlins. Even longer.
But they've had one.
But they have had one, yes. And now everybody has. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Brazoban delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. It's a Marlins win on a big historic night for Miami. Luis Arraez with the first cycle in Marlins franchise history in an 8-4 Marlins win.
Well, outstanding job. You had great pitching by Luzardo. And the Marlins kept tacking on with runs. They didn't give up. You know, the Phillies battled back within 1, 4-3. And the Marlins just were relentless. Just kept scoring, kept piling up those numbers. And how about Luis Arraez? My goodness. And that base hit, the single, that's all he needed. And he pokes it into left field.
And again, quintessential Luis Arraez, right? We get the scouting report. We watched him last year win the batting title in the American League. And so often he said it. He said it to us when we've talked to him on our air during spring games, that his dad told him there's so many hits over there. And there it was, the 4th hit of the day, and the final hit, the final link for the first cycle in Marlins franchise history.
He's been amazing to watch so far in these early part of the season. He reminds me a lot of Edgar Martinez. Edgar Martinez was just a magician at the plate from the right side. Anything he threw him, it seemed like base hit, gap, home run. Well, Luis Arraez has been the same way. Anything you throw him, he's getting a hit one way or the other. Right side, left side, in the gap. It's incredible.
And as you can see, standing by with Kelly Sacco.
Thanks, guys. Luis, your cycle was the first in Marlins franchise history. When you're walking up to the plate in the 8th, did you know you were a single shy?
Yeah, yes, wanna hit. I just wanna at bat, and then I say, okay, I wanna hit the ball to the middle or opposite way, and then I got my big hit. That day is so excited for me.
Did you know that the Marlins had never had a cycle in franchise history when you're walking up there?
No, I don't know that. I just go there and play baseball. I don't know that. But I want to say thanks God for this, and I'm excited. I'm happy.
And that at bat, how were you able to control your emotions, your first cycle in your career history, and not try to do too much?
No, I just what you say, I just try to do my best like I do every time. I just want to hit the ball to the left field, and then I did it.
What does this milestone mean to you?
It's mean a lot. It's mean a lot. I want to give this to my family, to my wife. We're waiting for another baby. So I'm happy. I want to give it to you, wife. I love you.
What are you going to do with the baseball?
Hey, I wanna put it in my new house. So I have a new house in Miami, and then I put it there.
Congratulations, Luis.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Well, thank you very much, Luis. Congratulations on everything. The cycle, the baby that's on the way.
Now go get the
Fantastic
base.
stuff.
Go get the base.
Go get the base. All right, there you go. If you don't, Nelly will. All right, let's send it back down to Florida and check in with Craig Minervini.